5 technical charts in under half an hour. That is our goal today. I've invited a market historian. He's an old school market technician and fundamental analyst to join us. Derick Tan is founder of Timing and You. They turned 6 this year, and he's joining us to demonstrate what cycle analysis is and to demonstrate his approach to analyzing 5 technical charts that are currently really hot right now. We're going to take a look at the FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI index, find out how it's done since the big political news broke yesterday. Microsoft, well, we know the Dow is trading at an all-time high. Meantime, Kathy Woods and Michael Burry are duking it out over whether or not tech stocks are overvalued. Take a deep dive into Microsoft. And Under Armour shares rallied this past month. Also, because we like to pack as much as we can into our shows, we'll be looking at NVIDIA and the charts of Yangzijiang as well. So Derick studies the workings of markets and asset classes, and he shares his knowledge in training so that other people can also use historical patterns and understand market seasonality with a blend that he's created of technical and fundamental analysis. Derick, good to have you join us. How are you?
Good morning, Michelle. It's great to be up on Money FM again to share with listeners about 5 technical charts that we have this morning.
Yes, thank you for preparing these 5 charts. Let's start with what's going on in Malaysia, given ongoing political developments there. We saw the FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI index yesterday pairing most of its early losses at the close of the trade to remain above the key psychological 1,500 point level. Today, trading at about 1,514, gaining 12 points. So, do you think that the underlying fundamental political developments is relevant, but that the market is reacting to it as if it is mere noise? Is the KLCI still remaining resilient to news of Malaysia PM's resignation?
All right. So anyway, this is the chart of the KLCI. All right, as we can see, it's over from 2018 to right now. So as we can see, since 2018 around April, KLCI has been having a lower high and a lower low. That means it has been trending down. That was probably because of the political uncertainty, because there was a change in government then. All right, so it came down. And over this region over here, if you look at my cursor over here, that was where early 2020, whereby we had the COVID-19 pandemic, whereby it has a big drop. Of course, at that point of the time, Dr. Mahathir also stepped down, and we have the new Prime Minister. So since then, it has been moving up and up and up. So let's zoom in over this region over here. All right, so let me zoom in, which is here. So as we can see over here, where my cursor is, there's actually...
And I just have to mention sorry to interrupt, Derick. I just want to mention for our radio listeners, if they're hearing cursor, we can't see a cursor, Michelle. That's because Derick is joining me live, and we will post this video up on YouTube so you too can watch him move his cursor and make these very detailed analysis. So we'll put this up for you as soon as we can. So you want to check out Money FM's Facebook page. You want to check out our YouTube page where this will be up very shortly after today. All right, please continue, Derick. Are we in the pandemic years yet or still at 2018?
Oh, no, we are actually in the current period. So,
okay.
Yes, so this is actually the zoom in chart. So we can see that it actually, this is what a certain chart pattern known as descending triangle. Okay. Also, KLCI has completed a descending triangle. This is something bearish, a bearish chart pattern. And since breaking down from the so-called support, it has been drifting down and down and down and down. And of course, yesterday with the Prime Minister resigning, but of course, right now he's a caretaker minister, Prime Minister.
Yep.
So what I do see is this is, if KLCI is to break this blue circle, where this blue circle is, where there's a support of 1483. If this 1483 level were to be taken out, we may see KLCI decline further, all right, to the next support zone, which is around 1429 to 1453. I will say this level of 1453 is actually quite a strong support. Why do I say that? Because there's a low here which formed the support. At the same time, there's also a 50% Fibonacci resistant support over here. All right, retracement support over here. So this 1453 is going to be a strong support. If this support doesn't hold, KLCM may drop a bit lower to 1429. So this green circle of 1429 to 1453, I personally think technically is going to be a strong technical support, all right, for KLCI if the political so-called uncertainty is going to continue. All right. On the other hand, if KLCI can break above this orange so-called circle of resistance zone, which is around 1514, then we may see KLCI have a chance to go higher to 1533, which is where the yellow circle is. Also, but I think from this chart, we can see that for any countries, political uncertainty actually do play an important part because this will impact the amount of foreign direct investment into that country. And because of this uncertainty, in fact, for 20 plus months, FDI has been pulling out from Malaysia market, which explains why KLCI has been so-called declining since end of last year till now. All right.
The decline that we're seeing now, nowhere near the seismic huge shocks when Mahathir resigned, right? I can see
Yeah,
from the chart
correct.
over there.
That was much bigger than. No, he resigned.
Yes,
No, after he resigned, that was at the point whereby the market was at the low because of a
but
COVID-19 pandemic. So actually, it went up. It has been going up. It's until end of last year, then it started to turn down with all this turmoil in the political scene. Yes.
okay. So we saw late buying yesterday really help support the KLCI, Petronas, Danganan, Sime Plantation, Tenaga Nasional. Late buying support for these stocks helped cushion the impact of the resignation of Muhyiddin Yassin and his cabinet, although he will remain caretaker prime
Yes.
minister. So remind us again of those levels. What is it? 1483?
The very strong support level I would say is between 1429 to 1453.
All
That
right,
is a
1429.
strong support level. Yes.
1453. Got it. I don't know if you can see anything in the charts about, what you expect to see in terms of recovery for the Malaysian ringgit, which we saw fall to a one-year low yesterday on the back of Yassin's resignation.
Ringgit has been weakening because of all this political uncertainty again. That's why I say, and political uncertainty is not something good for a particular country. So, if this uncertainty were to continue, I think ringgit probably is going to weaken against probably the US dollar. All right. But I do think later on, towards the later part of the year, actually US dollar, based on my cycle analysis, I do see that US dollar is going to so-called weaken further. So in turn, this probably will give a boost to ringgit so that USD against ringgit, probably we will see it so-called going lower. That means ringgit may strengthen from there. Yes.
Right. Right. Thank you for that insight, because I
Yes.
know you didn't prepare a chart for the Malaysian
Yeah.
ringgit, but thanks for sharing your thoughts there,
Yes.
Derick. Let's move on to Microsoft. We know the Dow Jones Industrial Average has been trading at record levels, and when share prices go up, investors want to know, can they keep going up? So,
Yes.
top of the list, I think, is Microsoft, and more than 85% of Wall Street analysts still have a buy rating for Microsoft.
Yes.
Microsoft shares hovering around the $300 level. They've been up about 30% since the start of the year. But analysts
Mm.
are still bullish, particularly about Microsoft's cloud computing service Azure, which we saw tick up, I believe, 50% in the last quarter. So, what do you see when you look at Microsoft's technical charts?
Okay. Uh, One thing I want to add is this.
Mhm.
because I do cycle analysis, as per my last forecast, I still think that Dow Zone have a target of around 37,000. Last night we have a drop of about 200 points, but in the end it ended up 100 plus points. All right, so S&P has hit my 4,000 too. Nasdaq I think is going towards 15,000. So for Microsoft, look at its chart of the last 10 years. Such a beautiful chart.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Gorgeous. Wow,
yes,
look at that
uptrending.
incline.
Yes. Wow, it's no wonder a lot of fund managers they love this chart and they are still bullish about Microsoft. So now let's zoom in into the recent price action of Microsoft. So what
Yes.
we can see is actually about on the Friday night, actually Microsoft actually broke out, as you all can see from the red circle over here. Microsoft actually broke up from this is what a chart pattern, what we call a flat base or a rectangle. It actually
Mm-hmm.
broke up, and last night it intraday it came down, but in the end it closed up again, and that with high in trading volume. So increase in price together with increase in volume, this is something positive. To add on to it is force index is also turning up. So it looked pretty so-called bullish at this point of the time. All right. So the resistance where the red circle is about 291.55. So it actually broke out and last night closed at 294.60. All right. So based on this, ladies and gentlemen, where probably can we see Microsoft go? Hit going forward. So based on the depth of this flat base, that means we take 291.55 minus the blue support line over here, which is 283.74, the depth. We add on to the red resistance line over here. We probably will look at maybe Microsoft heading higher towards 300 level. All right. And if you look at all the moving average, this is the 50-day moving average, this blue line, this green 20-day moving average, all of them is trending up. So this is another bullish sign. So technically, if we have were to draw a channel line, this blue support line over here, then from there I draw a parallel red upper channel line. Also, technically, we may be looking at Microsoft heading towards around 300 as well. Also, at this point of time, Microsoft does look bullish and based on the flat base chart pattern or be it based on this red upper channel resistance line, we probably may be seeing Microsoft heading towards 300 level. Yes.
All right. Microsoft shares closed yesterday up 0.6% at 295 US dollars. Thank you, Derick. We are chatting with our guest today. He is Derick Tan, founder of Timing NU, an active trader and investor using cyclical analysis to break down for us the technical charts of FTSE Bursa Malaysia's KLCI index. We've been looking at Microsoft. We'll look at Under Armour shares soon, NVIDIA and Yangzijiang Shipbuilding. That is all coming up right after this. Stay with us here on Your Money.
Your Money on Money FM 89.3.
Just want to remind you that we've got some packs of Alchemy, a new fiber blend that actually makes your carbs healthier, coming up for you. Each pack worth $100, and that's coming your way very soon right here on Money FM. So keep it right here with me.
Money and Me on Your Money, only on Money FM 89.3.
He's the founder of Timing NU. Derick Tan is my guest today, looking at 5 technical charts under half an hour, including that commercial break. Let's look now at Under Armour. Now, earlier this month, the athletic apparel and equipment equipment retailer, I should say, easily topped analyst expectations. It raised its full year outlook. Under Armour has changed its business model a little bit. It relies less on discounters and department stores and very much more on its own retail outlets. Under Armour shares I've been looking at because they've been rallying over the past month. They are up more than 25%. But most analysts are overweight on the counter and they expect it to rise higher. Under Armour shares closed, I'll take a check on that for you in just a while. What do you see in terms of Under Armour's chart, and are you bullish?
All right. So this is a chart of Under Armour. It has a its chart is very interesting. So because what I do see is it may be forming what we call a chart pattern called inverse head and shoulder. All right. So this probably is a left shoulder. Then this probably is a head. Then it's probably completing the right shoulder. So right now is if Under Armour can break above this red horizontal resistance line, which is around 27.72, which is where the red circle is. If I repeat again, if Under Armour can break above this 27.72 resistance line where the red circle is, then we may be able to see Armour heading higher towards this orange circle where there's another resistance level that will be around 32.66. All right. If this bullish momentum can continue, we may even see Under Armour heading higher towards the yellow circle where there is another resistance at 44.68. All right. So now the thing is, if this so-called inverse head and shoulder pattern can play out fully, then we probably may be able to see Under Armour heading higher towards year 2015 high over here, which is around around $50, which is where the purple circle is. This area is also where, if we were to add the so-called the depth of the inverse head and shoulder, that means from the 27.72 to the low of this head, we add the depth of this inverse head and shoulder, which is 27.72 minus 7.15. We add on to a resistance. This will project out to be around $50 as well, which is where the purple color circle is. Also, that is all this bullish scenario will play out if Under Armour can clear this 27.72 resistance where the red circle is. Yes.
Thank you very much. Under Armour shares closed yesterday down by 1.8% at $24.90 US cents. All right, we've got a couple more charts to get through, so I want to make sure that we pack them in. Let's look now at NVIDIA, Derick. NVIDIA Corporation is set to report its second quarter fiscal 2020 earnings on, I believe it's August 18th. It's coming out soon. And this quarter really encompasses a period where NVIDIA has been facing some big challenges as the global semiconductor shortage, showing no signs of easing. The cryptocurrency market has been in turmoil. NVIDIA stock had been rallying after the crypto-related slump in July, but I believe it is sliding. It closed yesterday down by 1.8%. No, NVIDIA shares, let's see how it did yesterday, closed down by 1.2% at 199.5 US dollars. So ahead of its earnings, what do you see when you look at its technical chart for NVIDIA?
Okay, so this chart of NVIDIA, so this is a 10-year chart. All right, as we can see, it has been trending up nicely as well until probably 2019. It formed a base over here. Then it broke out and hit even higher. So this is a 10-year view. Now let's zoom in the recent time. All right, so as we can see, very interestingly, as of early July, all right, NVIDIA has been coming down, found a support at this blue support line over here, which is about 178.66, which is where the blue circle is. It rebounded. It came close to this red resistance line, which is around 208.75, which is where the red circle is. Then it has a pullback. So now the interesting thing is, if we can see NVIDIA were to goes up and break above this red circle resistance line of 208.75, then it will probably complete what I call a chart pattern called cup with handle. It has formed a cup over here. Now it's forming a handle. So we need to see whether NVIDIA can break above this red circle resistance over here. If it can, then we may see it go higher. Then how high it possibly may go is, same thing, we can use the depth of the cup, which is we take 208.75, we minus the blue line of 178.66, we add on to the red resistance line, which will end up about 238.84. So the price objective of NVIDIA may be 238.84 if it can break above this red resistance line of 208.75. All right. Something interesting is this. If we were to look earlier, NVIDIA also formed a base, some sort of like cup with handle. So once it break above this resistance line, can you see it goes higher from here? From
Yeah, I
there
can.
onwards? Yeah. So let's see whether this time around it can break this red circle resistance of 208.75. If it can, then we may see if history were to repeat itself, we may see a price objective of 238.84 for NVIDIA. Yes.
All right, so NVIDIA shares, just a reminder, closed yesterday down 1.2% at $199 and 50 cents. Let's squeeze at our final chart for today. It's been on the hot stocks to watch list for a while, especially early August when we saw the main board listed company saying it intends to purchase the remaining 20% stake that it doesn't already own in a shipyard for 650 million yen, about 137 million Sing dollars. And we've seen Yangzijiang shares of shipbuilding. I believe it posted quite again 39% year-on-year growth. It released in August for net profit for the half year ended June 30th. So, what do you see when you look at Yangzijiang's technical chart?
All right. So this is the chart of Yangzijiang. So as we can see, it has been so-called hovering. All right. And recently, of course, it has a big boost. But for the last few days, it has been declining. So based on what I see is, it probably may be forming, it may have completed the cup. Also, it may be forming a handle right now. So what we need to see for Yangzijiang right now is this. If it can so-called hot is decline, if it can turn up and break this red circle resistance of 154, $1.54. If it can do that, it may have a chance to go higher to the next resistance, which is where the orange circle is, which is about 1.65.
Where it hasn't been for a while, right?
Yes, that is since March last year.
Yeah.
March last year. All right. So that is provided that Yangzijiang can break the 154 red circle resistance over here. Also, then it may have a chance to reach 165. Then, if the bullish momentum were to continue, another higher price objective of Yangzijiang may be we take 154 minus the blue so-called horizontal support line here, which is 136, the depth of the cup, we add on to 154, we potentially may see a price objective of 172. If this 165 orange circle resistance were to be taken out, we may be able to see Yangzijiang heading higher towards 172. All right. If we look earlier, before this run-up, actually Yangzijiang formed a chart pattern, what we call a saucer with handle. And since it broke up, it has been going up and up until recently, until it consolidate. So now let's see whether it can complete this possible cut with handle. If we can do that, it may possibly go higher towards 164, 165, or even a higher price objective at 172. Also, this is what I see of Yangzijiang technically. Yes.
Bear in mind, Yangzijiang Shipbuilding shares currently trading down 1.4% at $1 He is a market historian, old school market technician, and he analyzes with a view of fundamental analysis and historical trends as well, taking us through 5 technical charts in under half an hour. We did it, Derick. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. I'll be back again next month. So probably to share more charts with the so-called listeners of Money FM. But before we end, can I add something very quickly about the general market?
Yes.
Okay, so because I do cycle analysis, so this is the latest cycle chart that I so-called crunch. I really need to share this. Why it's important? Because this is not a price chart, but based on cycle chart, I do see that a correction or a much bigger volatility may be coming in September. All right, the next turning point is actually towards end of this year. So, ladies and gentlemen, so towards September and probably end of this year, we may see much bigger volatility. So let's get prepared for that. Please don't see that, US market is going to hit higher, then we are going to get too excited. But do take note, because based on cycle analysis, we may be seeing higher volatility probably coming in September and towards the end of this year. So please take note of this, all right?
Well, that was a surprise chart, Derick. Thank you very much for throwing that in.
Okay.
Really
Thank you
appreciate
very
that.
much,
He's
Michelle.
Derick Tan, founder of Timing and You, and you're listening to Money and Me. It is time for the news, and we have to head to it immediately. Let's go.
Money FM 89.3.